Good morning, Zio here, and it's that time of week again. It's time for our Sunday Gaming Roundup, where we go ahead and go over the topics we talked about this week, and since I missed a good portion of the previous week and didn't do one last Sunday and stuff because I just had to take some time, well, we'll go ahead and we'll cover all that in this one real quick and in a hurry. So, if you missed anything that we talked about throughout the week, of course, all links to everything are down in the description down below, just for you to go and take a look at. You can click at, whether it's on BitChute or YouTube, you can find it there. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so right now. I can wait. 1, 2, 3, and we're done. Okay, so after that, let's just get into it, shall we? So we started off last week talking about Naughty Dog and crunch. Apparently it's not everybody's favorite topic to really talk about. We weren't really going across asking the question, is crunch good or is crunch bad? We sort of explored the idea of crunch in different fields, different areas, like retail and trucking and other industries out there. We just sort of, explored, I guess, how one could go about reducing the amount of crunch and other things, and I think it was a pretty decent discussion, although not a whole lot of other people did apparently. So, and the kids are banging on the door, of course, because of course they are, and I had to go and take care of that. But anyway, we talked about crunch. Regardless, I thought it was a pretty good, interesting thing to, just a topic just to discuss about. So if you hadn't seen it, go take a look. Beyond that, then we talked about NieR RepliCant. Apparently it's getting an upgrade. It's coming to the PC. I don't really know a whole lot about the series, although it is coming, and it's not going to be exclusive for one or the other. It's coming to all the platforms, which is pretty cool. And it just sort of, there's a lot to that universe, and it honestly, I'm intrigued by it and would like to know more. But we did talk about that for a bit. And then we talked about Doom Eternal and Google Stadia, because apparently the people who are supposed to, who was going to have, let's see, what's the word I'm looking for? Native 4K 60 FPS. There we go. It was supposed to be Doom Eternal, and id Software unfortunately was incapable of getting it to happen on Google Stadia, because apparently I guess the hardware just isn't there, which, we talked about how Google Stadia essentially has been lying this entire time about how it's going to have, how it's going to have true or native 4K with a Doom Eternal as one of its marketing ploys. And of course, it's been saying that it's been doing 4K all this entire time, even though it's all been upscaled, so it's not true 4K. Meanwhile, a lot of these games can have true 4K on the console versions or the PC versions, but apparently Stadia is just incapable of handling true 4K. It's also storming again. Yeah, we had this problem last week, didn't we? What is up with that? So, yeah, that's part of the reason why we're going through this kind of quickly, because my area is prone to power outages. Yeah. Oh, the best part about living in the country, the power could go out at any moment, I guess. Nah, but it is one of the side effects for living out in the middle of nowhere. You have nobody around you, which is always great, but then you have issues with like internet speeds and the power going out, and luckily it's not gone out yet, and it's not dimmed or anything else. There's been no brownouts today, but you never know. Anyway, we then talked about GameStop closing, and I think this was supposed to be like the Thursday video, but stuff happened, never did get it uploaded until Saturday or something of the week. And but yeah, this was GameStop permanently closing over 300 stores. It's something that they had already talked about, but apparently, it's been fast-tracked by the current pandemic that this thing is going to happen, of course. And, once again, I feel like it needs to be said, but GameStop, you are not essential even if you have bottles of rubbing alcohol called hand sanitizer. Wow. Anyway. Then we started the next week off, right? We went ahead and we started talking about Borderlands 3 and people getting stiffed to their bonuses. There's a lot to unpack there. There was also a lot of people going around talking about how, CEO took a huge chunk. Randy Pitchford took like, 12 million, I think. It's somewhere down in here. Maybe not. Maybe it was in another one. Anyway, it took like 12 million as a bonus for Borderlands 3. Meanwhile, everybody else in the developing team got kind of stiffed on them. And, that was a bonus that was given back in 2016, not recently. So that's something to talk about, of course. But that is something, we went through, we talked about bonuses, the idea of bonuses and other stuff. So yeah, that was fun. And then we took things off to a positive note for Blizzard for a change, because Blizzard gets a lot of flack, and I, of course, give them a lot of flack. But yeah, they're developing the new expansion for World of Warcraft right now, which is Shadowlands, and it's looking like it's going to be really great. They've been listening to people for a change finally, because they didn't for a while, and they're finally making changes that seem to be more in line to what the player base would like to see. And when a developer actually does do things like that, we need to tell the developer they're doing a great job, and keep it up. So we talked about that, and then we talked about Dead or Alive 6 and their update to their $1 hairstyle changes. Because if you didn't know, we talked about this previous, you can change your hairstyle in the game, right? However, unlike other games where you can just change it and there's nothing to it, you have to buy special dream tickets that cost $1 each. They're also sold in packs of 2 a piece, so you have to at least spend $2 for a dream ticket. And then every time you want to change your hair color, well, you had to pay a ticket, $1. Wow. Anyway, so they updated their system to where now if you unlock a hair particular thing, you can have access to all of them, but you still have to pay per hair, if that makes sense. Anyway, we talked for a little bit on that. So then we went over to this, which apparently is not properly loading. Yeah, we're going to continue with that. My bad. We dunked on Blizzard for a bit, because once again, Blizzard is showing its hypocrisy when it comes to how it handles people that may, quote, break a rule. But this was over in Overwatch, not Hearthstone, of course, and we talked about people getting fined for saying some choice words in chat. And honestly, I think they should just get rid of the chat for spectator mode. Spectators don't need to see the chat. I'm sorry. They don't need to see that. You just need to get rid of it, and that will just fix anything right then and there. But then again, I also got to thinking afterwards, maybe it's not exactly the hypocrisy of Blizzard, maybe they learned from it too, which is always a possibility, because, the whole Blitzchung thing was a while ago now, and they're like, we should wait a little bit and think before we swing our hammer down next time. Especially since we don't want people to realize how in bed we are with China. I mean, shoo, can't let anyone know that one. But aside from all that, we did talk about the Overwatch players who got fined $1K for saying choice words in chat. And then we talked about GameStop, because GameStop's always a fun topic. Wait, we talked about GameStop the previous week. Imagine my shock. But apparently in Massachusetts, GameStop got shut down. One GameStop got permanently, or not permanently, but forcibly shut down by the government, and GameStop decided to shut down all stores across the state in compliance with that, because apparently, GameStop, once again, is not essential. Who knew? Oh, GameStop, you're not essential. Oh my gosh. Anyway, and apparently offering curbside pickup and handing things with associates wrapping their hands in bags Unlike this picture here where they're wearing gloves, I'm assuming most associates had to wear a GameStop bag to hand things out because GameStop wasn't offering people gloves. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. And GameStop things are heating up because we're going to talk about hand sanitizer soon. Pay attention for next week. Whew. Anyway, and then we finished the week off with this here. This is the future gamer. That's right. This right here is the future gamer that you're going to see on screen. If you listen to the audio version, of course, we have a non-audio version where you can see the pretty pictures and my face floating on the screen somewhere. But I'll try to describe this as best I can. So the future gamer is going to have an indented head from headphone usage. The future gamer is going to have insanely pale skin like myself, except for it's not going to be natural. It's going to be just because they don't go out. Their neck, oh my gosh, I didn't even see this the first time. Their neck is going to be this weird thing where it's at a 90-degree angle, right? And this is only a male. Oh, by the way, only men are going to be gamers 20 years from now, apparently, because there's no female variant to any of this stuff. But yeah, so their neck is in this weird 90-degree angle with this hunchback going down. They've got this enlarged, flattened stomach that sort of protrudes out and then flattens itself. They've got boobs for some reason because, oh, maybe it is female? I don't know. Maybe it's a male and female cross hybrid. I have no idea how this works. Anyway, they're going to have gaming, PlayStation thumb or something, right? So, that's going to happen. They're going to have not just arthritis, but a particular gaming variant of arthritis that I've heard is a lot worse. And then they're going to have mangled hands, among other things. Something to do with fingernails falling off because they type on the keyboard with their nails and not fingertips. I got nothing. And yeah, that's going to be the future gamer. In 40 years. No, 20 years. I'm sorry. By 2040. There we go. Future gamer with its Nintendo arthritis and PlayStation thumb. That's just hilarious to think of. Anyway, you know what? That's going to do it for today. This has been the Sunday Gaming Roundup. If you've got anything to add, of course, down in the comments is where you can add it. If you want to watch any of these videos or hear any of them, they're in the description down below, so you can actually go see the entire article and join in on the discussion that we had. But that's where we'll end it. I'm Zeo. This is Zeo Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.